calendar dictates that we're not going to be able to play the first two series of the regular season, and those games are officially canceled.
A couple of years back, the MLB wasn't exactly having a walk in the park. We were all standing on the precipice of a lockout, just waiting for the storm to hit. And hit it did. Now we know a lockout sounds like a major league bummer, and it was. But guess what? Out of that chaos, we got something as rare as a perfect game, an adrenaline-pumping, heart-racing few days of off-season moves that shook the baseball world like never before. Imagine the usual off-season routine, slower than a tortoise on a lazy Sunday afternoon. But oh boy, not this time. With the looming threat of a lockout, teams were playing a high-stakes game. What we witnessed during those crazy days was a baseball version. It was a refreshing change of pace. Usually, an off-season feels like waiting for a slow-pitch softball game to end, but not this time. First up, the Texas Rangers weren't playing games. They whipped out the checkbook and threw down not one, but two blockbuster deals. It's like they declared, everything's bigger in Texas, including our off-season signings. Marcus Semien, welcome to the Lone Star State with a whopping 7-year, $175 million contract. Corey Seager stepped into Texas with style and a 10-year, $325 million contract. Yes, you heard it right, $325 million. And just when you thought the off-season fireworks were done, Steve Cohen, the man with the golden checkbook, decided to drop the mother of all deals. He didn't just pull out his checkbook, he practically did a magic trick with it. Max Scherzer, welcome to the New York Mets with the most expensive contract ever in terms of annual salary, a jaw-dropping 3-year, $130 million deal. Cohen didn't just sign a pitcher. He signed a human pitching machine with a price tag that could buy you a small island. It was like witnessing the Mets owner saying, "I'm not here to play, I'm here to win," and boy, did he make a statement. The Mets rotation just went from good to downright scary. Imagine Max Scherzer stepping onto the mound and the opposing team's batters collectively gulping. It's the kind of power move that sends shockwaves through the league, making every team rethink their strategy. And let's not forget the fans. They were probably doing backflips in excitement, envisioning a season filled with strikeouts, dominant performances, and maybe even a trip to the World Series. We've got the 2021 Cy Young Award winner, Robbie Ray, deciding to take his talents to the Seattle Mariners. It's like the Mariners snagged themselves a pitching wizard to add some magic to their rotation. You can almost hear the cheers from the Pacific Northwest echoing across the baseball world. But wait, there's more! The Detroit Tigers weren't just sitting on the sidelines, sipping lemonade. Nope, they went big, landing Javier Baez and Eduardo Rodriguez. It's like the Tigers decided to throw a party and invited some of the hottest free agents to join the festivities. Motor City is gearing up for an exciting season, and the Tigers fans must be grinning from ear to ear. And let's not forget about Marcus Stroman, who found his way to the Windy City, signing with the Chicago Cubs. It's like the Cubs decided to add another ace to their deck, making their rotation a force to be reckoned with. Wrigleyville is about to witness some serious pitching magic, and Cubs fans must be counting down the days until opening day. Now, here's the kicker. All these moves, from the Texas-sized contracts to the surprise signings, happened within the blink of an eye, like a baseball version of a speed date. I'm talking 1 to 3 days of pure, unadulterated excitement. It was like the baseball gods were orchestrating a symphony of deals, and we were all front-row spectators. But here's where it gets interesting. See, we've been through off-seasons that felt like watching paint dry. The usual routine, same old, same old. But this time, it was different, and it begs the question, why can't every off-season be this thrilling? The truth is, Major League Baseball has a bit of an issue when it comes to its off-season. It's like comparing a home run derby to a slow-pitch softball game. Sure, they both involve hitting balls, but one is way more exciting than the other. Here's the scoop. Unlike the NBA, NFL, and NHL, baseball doesn't play by the same rules. Those other sports have a little thing called a salary cap, meaning teams have a strict budget to play with. It's like having a spending limit on a shopping spree. But in the world of baseball, it's a free-for-all. And that's where the problem lies. Without a salary cap, baseball's off-season turns into a wild west of spending. Take the NBA, for instance. It's like free agency. There is a speed limit because players, big names and all, are signing contracts faster than you can say slam dunk. Once the floodgates open, it's a race, and you blink and boom, it's over. The NBA offseason is like the Usain Bolt of free agency, quick, efficient, and leaves you wondering if it even happened. Now let's talk about MLB. It's the rebel of the group, the maverick breaking all the rules. Why? Because there's no salary cap in baseball. It's a luxury tax system, which sounds fancy, but in reality, it's more like a spend at your own risk situation. Sure, there are penalties if you go overboard, but it's a far cry from the strict limitations imposed in other leagues. This lack of restrictions makes MLB's off-season a whirlwind of unpredictability. It's like trying to predict the weather during a tornado. You might have an idea, but you're never quite sure what's going to happen next. While other sports have a more methodical approach to team building, baseball turns it into a strategic roller coaster ride. Sure, the luxury tax adds a bit of spice, a warning sign that says, "Hey, don't go too crazy with those contracts." But let's be real, it's more like a suggestion than a strict rule. Now compare that to the MLB, where players are signing contracts longer than a season of your favorite TV series. We're talking 14-year deals. Why? Because in baseball, it's a free-for-all. If a player thinks he's worth a mountain of cash and a team agrees, they can dance around contract negotiations for what feels like an eternity. Manny Machado is casually strolling into the Padres contract discussion during spring training like he's picking out a new pair of cleats. And don't forget Bryce Harper, who decided March, yes, during spring training, was the perfect time to ink his deal with the Phillies. At the end of the day, we can't have it all. We are content with how MLB handles contracts, even if it means enduring a slower off-season. What about you? Do you prefer the freedom of MLB's contract system, or are you all in for the structured approach of other sports? Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.